Don't know if this was interesting enough to film, but this crusty old alternator belt, or well, I mean, it's water pump, alternator, crank, whatever. The main belt, the only one on there, decided to start shredding. So this morning after starting it up, I had to pick up pieces of it. I'm still picking up little bits like that everywhere. Here's another one. Alright, so belt is toast. I knew that going in. Finally found one locally at, again, AutoZone, because AutoZone is close. And trying to get that new one on. This was a bear to get the old one off, mainly because the skid plate on the bottom is bent. So I'm gonna go try to get more leverage on there and get it back on. Just a quick safety update. Given that old Jeeps are prone to fires and leaks from multiple sources, we've got over here a safety upgrade. So right by the door, so you gotta run all the way through all this just to get here in case of fire. But if the kitchen catches on fire, it's right here. So safety first. Well, gang, it's a bit of a rainy, gross, humid day outside, and I really don't feel like opening up the garage door to let all that funk in here. But meanwhile, I'm looking around and good grief. Look at the state of this place. Look at the mess I've made here. I think it's time to try to rein all this back in, get organized just a little bit, and maybe I'll have, room to walk through, get over there where extra tools are and such, because this is a mess. Well, one of the lingering questions I had was whether the exhaust was completely clogged up. Given that it keeps dying, I was wondering if some back pressure from the exhaust was causing that. Well, I guess I can safely say the exhaust may have been clogged, but it's probably clear now, given all this junk that's suspiciously blasted off into the corner from what appears to be the direction of the exhaust. Okay, that is a little better. This consisted of a whole lot of just taking things and putting them in a pile, then moving that pile to the other side of the garage, and then taking that pile and moving it back. And eventually it all ends up like this. So, got my recyclables, got my low-budget creeper to slide around on the floor here. Got to get that battery tying down. Got rid of some spiders again. Had to evict a few. This is still one of the grossest parts of the Jeep. It's no wonder the floor or the bottom of the old gas tank rusted out.
Still need to vacuum that because I'm going to have to lay on that and get up under the dash to start looking at a few things soon. Funny how the driver's side has no seat belt, but the passenger side does. Got all my chemicals kind of out of direct line of sight with the sun. Because even though we're getting into the fall months, I still want to keep the sunlight out of that. Got chemicals and tools back up here. Got this mountain of tools that I need to put back in those toolboxes. But I pretty much needed every one of these tools at some point. And I went ahead and got the other side rail just hanging up on the wall out of the way instead of laying on top of seats and such. Those are obviously some do-it-yourself seats. I really do need to check the condition of those seats at some point, but that's a later type thing. I hit a few things over there in the closet that no one's really going to be dealing with for a while. The fenders, for instance, and the old dead gas tank are stowed in there for now. So, out of sight, out of mind. That was a little bit louder than I expected. Cool. All right. Clean work area again. How long that'll last, who knows? Uh-oh. Oh, I missed a few sockets. I'll get them later. All right. On to the next thing. The next thing being to start cleaning up this parking brake, emergency brake. Ugh, that's gross. Again, magnetic tray. It's awesome. Those aren't going anywhere. Yep, this thing is gross. Obviously, the transfer case does have a few leaks that have not been dealt with. This could be original. Oh, wow. Yep, this smells really, really awful. Glad you can't smell it, but yes. Emergency brake or parking brake drum. It's a thing. But I can certainly start understanding just looking at this thing now. Saw on, I think it was Gone Jeepin's channel, where they had that video talking with Rick Payway about how some of the emergency brakes are not there because people would find that they accidentally cause a fire. Yeah, the inside surface of this is pretty dang gross, and the bottom is covered in grease, so if that got up to temperature, it quite possibly could burst into flames. So of course, before I get the new brake shoes on, I don't know if I can have this turned, or if it needs to be turned, or if I can just scrub it really good and it'll be okay. That's another question I'll probably pose on the forum, and we'll find out about that, because I'm trying to do things right, and brakes are a safety item, and they must be done right. Ugh. I have been scrubbing on this thing with the old engine degreaser and a nice little steel brush for what feels like a day, but is really probably only about 30 or 40 minutes. And I feel like all I've really accomplished is to spread a thin layer of grease and gunk and such over the entire thing. What I don't know is if there was some kind of a finish on this drum that prevents rust or something. I mean, obviously all the grease on it's probably doing some good rust prevention. It really doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, and this is after scrubbing the inside for a while, so that is actually starting to resemble the part that I see for sale on multiple websites. So just gonna keep at it. I think I see a FedEx truck rolling up, so fingers crossed, maybe I'll have another part. If I had a significant other, they might be somewhat displeased with the current state of affairs in the sink. Fortunately for me, I missed that boat. No, that ship has sailed, shipwrecked, and sunk to the bottom of the ocean, never to be seen again unless Robert Ballard takes an interest. So, I get to try some degreasing in here, and maybe that will result in some better progress here, because the dish soap might have a little bit better luck. Et voila! It resembles clean, almost new old stock. Was able to get all the grease and gunk and everything off the most important inside braking surface, so that's good. Got probably 95% of the grease and gunk off this thing. Of course, in the process, if there was any kind of protective coating on this, other than the protective coating of grease and gunk and stuff that was all over it, that is likely gone now due to the steel wool. So most likely what I will end up doing to preserve these while we wait for more parts, I'm going to thoroughly dry it here to make sure all is good. We don't want any surface rust or anything, even though at this point it's in way better condition than it was. I have some high temperature brake rotor paint from many moons ago. That was the old Honda Civic project. So way back in the day. But I'll probably go ahead and give this... I have some high temp primer as well, so I'll go ahead and do it right. Clean it, degrease it, high temp primer, high temp, just a gloss black. Glossy, and no one will ever see it because it's under the Jeep. But protect it as well as I can. And at least it'll become very obvious if something starts leaking again. It'll be a nice uniform color, and any grease will show up very clearly on it. Then I'll know, hey, it might be getting kind of questionable to use that emergency brake until the leak is dealt with. Though hopefully I will deal with the leak on the transfer case that affects this guy as I go through the process of refurbing this emergency brake. So that's it for now. Until the next time,